Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to this edition of Real Talk here on Shelbyville Now. I'm David Thomas. This is Bo Gill.
Hello.
Bo, we're sitting down here today to talk about. We got a multitude of topics we can jump into.
Oh yeah.
But we're going to pick a couple of these because I think they're very important.
Yes.
And
for
we're
sure.
gonna
A lot going on.
Yeah, we got a lot
nationally,
going on.
locally, all over the place. It's a new
Yeah.
year, 2026. It's already coming hard. So
There's all kinds of stuff. It never stops. It seems.
yeah.
Nonsense does not ever take a break and take a holiday.
No, it does not.
This is officially, by the way, a national holiday.
Yes,
Martin
it is.
Luther King
It's
Day.
Martin Luther King
So you
Day.
had banks closed, post office closed,
Mhm.
a lot of things closed down, but then there's a lot of people that have to work anyway, and that's kind of the category I fit into.
And I talked to Josh Blevins today. They had a MLK celebration earlier at the Fly. Had some speakers there. Good times. People are off work. It's a good day to celebrate a remarkable man that was taken away from us way too early.
All right. Let's think about some things that have taken place. But before we do, I want to thank our sponsor, Norris Plumbing.
Yes.
Jay does a fantastic job. If you ever have any needs, plumbing wise, he's your man.
Yeah, I mean, the family, Bedford County oriented for the last, I don't know how many years, decades and decades.
Yeah, his granddad was a plumber and electrician, and he has continued the saga and does a fantastic job. He's done some work here for us, and great job.
Yes.
So hats off to Norris Plumbing. Give them a call for all your plumbing needs. All right, Bo, just briefly talking about, I know you and I watched the price of silver.
Oh, yes.
As an indication of our economic situation here in the United States. It flirted around with $95 today per ounce. This time last year, you and I were probably buying some silver rounds for $23, $27.
Oh, yeah, we were.
Okay.
I mean,
it's at this price.
Yeah, this is extraordinary times when it comes to the silver.
It ain't stopping.
No, and there's no indication for that. I mean, should you buy now and will it be at 200 next year? I mean, I heard some crazy reports in early 2025 that silver was going to get to this level. And I thought
it was crazy.
I thought it was crazy. And yet here we are. I mean, an ounce of silver, $100, you could say.
If you remember, I predicted, and I think on this show, that silver would be $50 by the end of the year.
I think you did.
And it's 90.
And I thought you were nuts.
No, I didn't. 90.
No, that was a closer guess. I mean, 50.
I thought 50. That's a pretty good thing, man. Double it from when we were buying it earlier in the year to the end of the year. A double's pretty good. But dadgum,
well,
a triple,
so
four times.
It's hard to make the decision. Do you sell right now? I mean, because when something's going up like this. But let's look at this just for a second historically. If people don't understand, it has been at like the $18 to $25 mark. It seemed like for 20 years.
It has been 20 years. We had a little spike in 2012, I think.
Right. It went way up.
And in 1980 and 81. It got up to, I won't say $40 or $50.
Yeah. Yes.
But it's never been this high. And gold is going right along with it. This is one sign, Bo. It's a sign of a weakening and dying dollar.
That is what I always hear, and to watch the precious metals and that right there is a big indicator of the dollar.
Yeah.
Or the economy, the world economy. This right here is something for everybody to watch. You've got silver now. Hey, that stuff's going up and up. I don't think it's going to stop anytime soon. I'm sure we'll be over 100.
Now these price ranges, they'll go up and they'll pull back and consolidate. They'll go up, but every time it goes up another step, it's a little bit higher every time. And that's I think that's the pattern we're in, because there's more physical demand than we have physical silver, you've got industry that uses silver. So this is an important
solar, all types of.
To me, it's the most covered up financial story there is, because mainstream media, they don't want to talk about it because the big banks that are in trouble and they're short silver don't want anybody to hear about it.
No,
so silver is the stuff to watch.
It is.
One other thing, it came out last week and over the weekend, President Trump is going to buy Greenland, whether they want to sell it or not. And if they don't, if Europe doesn't go along with it, we're going to throw tariffs on their products coming into the United States, and we're going to have to pay more taxes.
Slow your roll, Trump. Slow your roll, please, sir. I love you. You have done a lot of good, but this seems a little like an offensive move. It seems like a bully type tactic.
Yeah.
And I get the sentiment. I think that we could make a deal with Greenland where we could maybe have some type of military structure or infrastructure there to maybe a lease, or we could buy a portion. But this right here, please pump your brakes, Donald J. Trump, because this is starting to get into a territory we don't want to get to. The European, they're in 2019, Trump tried this again, and he got a hard no then.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. We had the Biden years. Fast forward, here we are again. He got another hard no.
I think it's one thing for him to look at that and say that is a strategic location we need to check out and make sure that we've got nailed down. But to go in there and say you're going to send military in to take it from an ally,
no, that is not what you.
That's now either he's throwing this out there as a card, as a bargaining chip to pull back, threaten and then pull back, threaten and then pull back. I don't like the tactic.
No,
I mean, more people see right through it too.
Yeah, and the more you do that, the threats are watered down.
Yeah,
and I would just I would say that we need to walk slowly on that. And look, these are people in a country here, and for someone from a different country say we're going to come take you over, that's not cool.
You know, I've always heard the term, and you probably have too, speak softly and carry a big stick.
Yes.
Trump can't speak softly.
No, he cannot.
And even though he's got a big stick.
Oh, yes.
He don't have to do what he's doing
to
get stuff done.
I think he could get it done in other ways. He's a negotiator, right?
That's what we hear. That's what we
make
hear.
a deal and let's keep them Greenland.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to something else. One other thing that affected a lot of people around here, we saw it, I think it was last Wednesday it took place. We might have mentioned it Thursday when we had our show, but I've been thinking about this a little bit more and more. The glitch that Verizon had that was supposedly some software issues where people's phones automatically went over to SOS mode and they couldn't make and receive phone calls. Now they could text, but they couldn't do voice. Okay. That glitch was a bigger situation than Verizon let on.
Oh yeah.
It was more than 1 million people.
Oh, it
was millions of people.
Several people that I tried to contact. I would say, let's say 7 out of 10 it affected.
Right.
My wife was one of them. It was a few hours that it happened, and it made me think, what if we didn't have any cell? What if our cell phone?
That's what I'm fixing to ask, Bo. What would we do? And I'm not talking to me and you personally, because I got a plan.
Yes,
okay, and you got a plan.
I got a plan.
All right. What happens if the cell phone service just goes out? We don't have these things to communicate with like we do so much now. Mm-hmm. It's almost become a part of our hand. Mm-hmm. Okay. What if our cell service goes out?
I've got
completely.
I've got 6 letter couriers lined up.
Oh,
and they're going to go out at the hour, every hour on the hour, and receive
homing pigeons.
Yeah.
Pigeons.
That would be an option. No, seriously. What do we do? We're in the time of instant communication now. You know,
it's not going to be instant anymore.
No, if that happens, and this right here is I think sometimes like with diseases, you know, you get symptoms of things, and then it kind of makes you think, oh, maybe I need to look out for this. That's a symptom we need to pay attention to. Yeah. I mean, in a blink of an eye, all communication, internet.
Don't you think there's hackers right now, Bo?
Oh,
that are sitting out there waiting to try to take it out.
Oh, you know they are.
That and shutting down our internet. Yes. Those two things connect us to the world and to each other.
Right.
If they're gone, what are people going to do? Yeah. I think some people will freak out. And there'll be people jumping off bridges because they can't watch their TikTok videos.
Luckily, I lived 14 years on this earth before internet and cell phones became a big deal. I wasn't in the professional realm, but I kind of know how to work with paper and how things. But I would be, you know, I'm used to it. I would have to change a lot back. It would make some people have no idea what it was like before cell phones and the internet. It would be a massive economic and societal collapse. I mean, I don't know how
I don't know how else to put it either, but you know that we have options. Brady Turner. Oh, Tamara Price. Hello, Tamara. Good to see you in from California. Okay, Brady Turner. I kind of thought it was refreshing to be unreachable last Wednesday afternoon.
I'm telling you, Brady. I mean, and I had an excuse. I'm like, well, I tried to call you. No, I didn't do that. But I mean, you know what I mean. It was very nice.
I was already in the business world somewhat when the big brick cell phones came out, and they were so cool that you could phone somebody from your car and the car built-in car phones.
Wow.
And that went from that in the late 80s.
It was car phone, yeah.
To this. And I think that over that period of time, people's communication skills face to face have diminished.
Oh yeah.
Their ability to have a discussion civilly have deteriorated because we have this and we can type on a keyboard and not have to face somebody, and we can like throw some garbage out there.
And people don't like to look you in the eye and talk nowadays, and that really is hard. And I think it is a symptom of that. I'm
not so sure it wouldn't be a bad thing if it didn't shut all our businesses down, which it possibly could, because I don't know too many people personally that now have a hardwired phone in their home.
No, most people don't.
Ours has been gone for a long time because we both we got these.
It also made I looked at several people. We talked about satellite phones, and in this situation where they're on a separate satellite, some would work and some wouldn't. But if it was some type of
how many
EMP,
people?
It would have.
How many have people have a satellite
phone? Who would you be
phone?
Calling?
How many people have a satellite phone stuck in their pocket? Probably more people than you think, but they're limited, and it's not going to be the communication. I'm going to make a case for having a backup plan of having a ham radio or a GMRS radio.
Yes.
A GMRS radio is a radio that you can get licensed through the FCC without taking a test, and you can use up to 50 watts of power and reach 30 to 35 miles. If everybody equipped themselves as emergency backup plan to have that and have a car battery as a power backup, it's a great source of communication with the people, but you have to have a network of people hooked up for that to work. And I'm going to make the case that we're in days that we should start considering these types of plans.
For sure. I mean, it's food, water, shelter, communications, and the communication part will be probably the tougher, but as long as you can take care of the main things, but that's it. We're going to be limited to communication. I mean, it's just going to be that way. We're going to be less community.
You threw out those things, and you and I have had this discussion, and I've had this discussion many times. I feel like water is number one important because it sustains life, and you can go without food for 40 days and still make it. Okay.
Right.
We got biblical examples of that. And I see people do 40-day fast, but without water, you're going to die in 2 or 3 days.
Yes, that's exactly
You're going to die quick.
Yes.
All right. So you got to get water. And I think the next thing you go for is communication, because with communication, it opens up the door to a lot of other things.
You do need the community. I mean, you need other humans. I mean, that's what you rely on in those type of situations. Look, I think what you said, the GMRS, those type of the ham radio, but it's not that hard if you buy one and then just get the little license, but make sure you get the license. Don't go on there willy-nilly.
But here's the thing. In an emergency, you're not going to need a license.
There you go.
But it only costs $35. You don't have to take a test to get the GMRS, and you can go ahead and be testing things and setting up friends with a network.
Yes.
I would like to have a group of friends that I got, automatically, we've got this channel to go to. If we lose communications, and there's going to be somebody there.
Yeah, it's planning. I mean, that's security.
Now this is the prep side coming out in me, so I don't want to. I want to take over some other topics that we
experienced that, and that was kind of what we felt, and it makes you think of that. And we thought we would bring that up and get everybody else's, to think about that and be prepared. Think about it. Nothing's guaranteed. I mean, we need to always guard.
All right. Everyone should have a landline phone. I have an old black dial phone. Also, I keep hearing stock toothpaste. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right. So Tamara's already been thinking along these lines. All right. So we're going to move on now. And next week, Thursday, we're going to talk about Remington Farms.
Yes.
The new city that's planned on the west side of the city of Shelbyville.
It is quite a large development.
We're going to talk about that and the specifics of that. We'll talk about that Thursday, but I want us to jump into something now. And Josh and I reported on this. The school board, they were talking about what they're going to do going ahead for the next 5 to 10 years. Some of it was building schools, more schools. We need more schools here. We need the school there, blah, blah, blah. I get that. We need to plan ahead for that if population growth continues. But you got to look at not just population expansion, but you got to look at school enrollment. And that's what they looked at. They're down 200 students from last year. And the majority of that comes from homeschooling. And Bo, we reported on our Facebook page, and we briefly mentioned it Saturday, about situation with a school teacher that was arrested. And I know everybody knows the story, and we're not going to go down that path. But I feel like that homeschooling is going to be on the rise when we keep seeing this type of stuff take place. Because as a parent, I'm going to ask you, how do you feel about sending your child out into a society where stuff like this is happening. Now, it's happening everywhere, not just Bedford County. There's a lot of places worse.
Yes.
Okay.
No doubt.
If I were in Nashville,
yes,
there's no way my kids would be in public school.
I'm always anywhere my daughter goes. I try to be involved or have contact with those teachers that are around. That being said, you can't control a human, and you think you know someone, and then they do acts that are just despicable. It make you sick. So my advice is to be in tune.
All right, let's that's advice, but just tell me your feelings.
My feelings.
How does it make you feel to see something like this, knowing that your child?
It makes me sick. It makes me mad. It makes me angry.
Yeah,
and it's not a good feeling. It's not a good feeling.
Now, the advice you were giving is stuff that you say you've already tried to do. Get involved, know what's going on.
Yes, stay more involved. You're right. My first feeling when I hear these things is anger and sickness and sadness for the kids that have to go through some of these things. My way, since my daughter still is in public school, my way to, I guess, stay in contact with that is to have these communications with teachers where they can look you in the eye, but still, we don't know what goes on.
Yeah,
we don't know humans, but it has brought a rise to something that I've thought about more in the last few years, which is homeschooling. And that right there seems to be a more safe way where you have more like-minded students that are, and they are able to still participate in sports in the county. Look, I don't know anything else, but just guard what you got and what you love. But we can't prevent evil. I mean, right?
No, we live in an evil world.
We do, and it just and these staffs a lot of times they don't know what's happening. I mean, they can't predict these things.
No,
I mean, and you're like you said, we're lucky in other jurisdictions and towns it happens. A larger degree.
Populations, different cultures. It's worse, but it's all over our society now, and we've had that instance. Plus, we've had a teacher arrested for assault, accused of assault. Don't know what's happened there, but hopefully we'll hear a good ending to that story.
I hope we do. I hope we do.
And then shifting gears away from education just a minute, and I'll get back to that. But we also had a 16-year-old playing around with a 45 semi-automatic pistol and did some major damage to himself, almost killed himself with it, playing around, trying to act like a gang member or something. A 16-year-old now. How does a 16-year-old get a 45 and play around with it? All right. Where are the parents? Where's the adults? Okay. And I'm going to carry this over. When you got that type of stuff happening at home, how much attention are parents paying attention to what's taking place at school?
Well, to the answer there is zero on both levels, because if they're not paying attention at home, then of course they're not paying attention to school. They may not even know if they went to school that day. And that right there is I mean, that's like the fundamentals of raising a child and going to school. Make sure they go to school. And I'm not saying you have to check on a daily basis.
I'm not talking about gun control here either. I'm not going to go down that path because the gun control that needs to take place is responsible gun ownership. And when that doesn't happen, the answer is not to get rid of guns. It's to go jack up some people that ain't responsible.
Look, the gun didn't do this. He did that. It's called irresponsible gun handling. He probably, I'll just speculate. It was probably cocked and he thought it was locked and he went after it and it go off. Look, gun safety is a huge thing. It's something that was implemented me, thankfully, at a young age. But if you don't know how to use a gun, don't try to be cool and don't try to pretend like you do, because you're going to end up hurting yourself.
Yeah.
Or someone around you. And it happens all the time, sadly. But guns, if you don't know anything about them, put it down. I mean, there's no reason to have one at 16 years old. Now, if you want to fight somebody, go fight them.
You're not going to hear about this in the news because it's taboo to talk about stuff like this. But I want to bring it out. And on this show, we're going to get a little more in depth on some of the things that we report on. We did not report on this, but I actually heard it on the scanner when it took place. And I'm going to go, oh my gosh.
Yes.
And there's some other things happening on our scanner. If you go on our website,
there's a lot going on in our scanner.
Yeah. I mean, it's wide open.
Our deputies, our city police.
It's like total chaos.
It is.
And it's the world we live in, bro.
And they're having to deal with this, I mean, the stresses that some of these officers, deputies have to take home, from seeing some of this, and they see it firsthand. So my heart goes out to them. But yes, let's be responsible parents. Let's check into what our kids, let's rattle things up and maybe, shake things up at home and ask them going or what they're doing.
All right. So I'm going to ask every parent this right now. As a parent of, let's say, a 10-year-old to 18-year-old, let's say 10 to 17, those are some vulnerable ages.
Mm-hmm.
We saw this week the possibility of their predator engaged in their lives. Okay.
Mm.
Okay. The possibility that
Yes.
exists. Is
Yes.
it possible right now that there's somebody on their cell phone communicating with your child, okay, trying to groom them and set up some sort of assault or some sort of weird something other these freaks do,
Mm-hmm.
okay, and you don't know about it? If you don't know about it, you need to be monitoring those phones.
You better believe it. And no communication from an adult and any type of use should be happening. That should be going strictly through the parents. I've had situations where that has happened in my life before, and we cut it off right at the get-go. It was all good natured.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, but you just don't allow that because you don't know certain people's intentions. You hate to say so. In order to just remove the threat, yes, and there's some monitoring that has to go on. There's some extra step of parenting that I like to call undercover parenting. My wife's real good at it. And there are things that you
don't
need to
show
do.
your hand here. She might be watching.
But
I think it's sound advice for parents to be active in your child's life.
Yes.
So that if there is a threat, that you will catch it before it's too late.
Hey, you're responsible for that little human being right now.
Exactly.
And while you're responsible, they live under your rules.
They're gullible.
Oh, they are.
I mean, they like to be bragged on. They like to be patted on the back. And when somebody comes along and you're not doing it and somebody else does it,
Mm-hmm.
they got a leg up to maneuver and manipulate your child.
Yes, they do.
It's sad that we live in these times.
I know.
But evil's been around a long time, and I see it getting amplified.
Yes.
And I see the tools that are out there right here that are sneakier, more crafty.
Yep.
Ways
they're using the games. I know that one thing, the Roblox game that's very popular to children, they have identified several instances of predator things going on. The innocent world in the games, we can't look at them with that innocent eye anymore. We have to have pretty much a double check on everything.
Yeah, and these gamers, these kids that are online gaming now, communicating with other people.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Do you know who they're communicating with? Are they friends? Or are they total strangers?
Yeah.
Another question.
And the kids say, "Oh, I know him."
I know him.
You don't know
him.
him.
Man, I've been talking to him for a year.
Yeah.
A year.
Yeah.
They might wait a year. They might wait 2 years to entice your child to do something they shouldn't do.
Not saying everybody's like that, but it's there. We hear about
it.
It's there. Stay on guard with your loved ones. It comes a point to where if it gets too far out of control, then all you have to do is react to the mess. But when you've got the chance right now, do the hard work right now.
Stay ahead of the curve.
Stay ahead of the curve.
Yeah, exactly.
With
all
real
right,
talk.
We're going to get out of here. And thank you, everybody, for your comments.
Yes.
Thank you for tuning in today. But we're going to talk about the new city coming to the city of Shelbyville on Thursday.
It's a big development.
And talk about some of the ins and outs and the pluses and the minuses and the pros and the cons and challenges and all that stuff that we face with this type of stuff coming. And we're going to,
And in between now, if anybody's watching, I would say between 4 o'clock and 6 o'clock, maybe drive out towards Unionville Highway.
Oh no. And you don't want to do that.
But you might be able to gain more from our conversation on Thursday and see what's really going on.
Experience the traffic.
Yeah, experience the traffic.
Okay. All right, there's John Hart gave us a link. Go here to learn how to keep your child safer. Awesome.
Thank you, John.
Awesome link.
Thank you, John.
We'll be back on Thursday. Thanks for watching. Have a great week.